everyone, my name is Rosima Romero. Today I will present my research titled Analysis of the Pronunciation of the ed suffix in regular verbs in first year foreign language teaching students at UNEGES. This study explores the phonetic challenges faced by future English teachers in their initial stages of training. To guide our session, we will go through the research problem, objective, the theoretical framework, and the methodology used. Finally, we will analyze the results, main findings, and the resulting recommendations. Regarding the research problem, the core issue of this study is that the phonological competence in L2 is essential for effective communication. According Lados 1957, Spanish L1 interference affects articulation of the three allophones of the ed suffix and ed. And this is important because future teachers with fossilized errors might transmit these same pronunciation problems to their future learners. Therefore, this analysis aims to identify those specific gaps to improve pedagogical strategies. Two research questions will guide this study. The first one is, what is the degree of phonetic accuracy among students when producing the three allophones of the ed suffix? And the second one, which type of error is the most frequent among the bachelor's degree students? The general objective of this study is to evaluate the phonetic accuracy in the production of the regular past tense among 6 students of the bachelor's degree in English language teaching. The specific objectives are to identify the most common errors, such as vowel appendices, the voicing and elision using the digital tool Audacity. Number 2, to determine which of the three allophones of the suffix ed or id presents the greatest difficulty for students during oral performance. And number 3, to propose pedagogical recommendations based on the results obtained to improve the teaching of phonetics at the initial levels of teacher training. To understand the result, we must look at the theoretical framework, and according to Saltmurchat et al. 2010, the three rules of articulation depend on the final sound of the verb rule. So we have the rule number 1 with the allophone id occurs after root sounds or example, wanted, decided. The rule number 2, voiceless, occur after some sounds like p, k, f. Example, cooked, watched. Rule number 3 is voiced, the occurs after voice sounds with vibration of the vocal cord, including all the vowels and consonants like b, g, z, z, l, m, and r. Example, played, cleaned. We also must focus on the definition of related terms such as the voicing, parenthesis, and elision. The voicing, producing a voiced sound without a vocal cord variation. The vowel parenthesis is the insertion of an extra vowel sound, and elision is the omission of a sound. Regarding the methodology, we have here the table number 1 that shows the participant database. Participants include 6 first-year students ranging from A2 to B1 level and ages from 19 to 24. The physical and academic setting is Universidad Nacional Experimental de los Llanos Occidentales Ezequiel Zamora, UNEYES, Acarigua Araure Campus, and the department the bachelor's degree in English language teaching. For the data collection, we used indirect observation of the audio recordings of a 15 regular verbs list, and then we processed those recordings with Audacity, that is an open source digital audio workstation, following a process in which after the voices were recorded, a noise reduction filter was applied, and then it was segmented to separate each verb from the list. And finally, the spectrum view was used to observe whether there was vibration or silences. The data analysis procedure consisted in 3 steps. Step A, the digital verification with Audacity. Step B, the phonetic transcription matrix, where we describe the accuracy of or if the student made an error like a parenthesis, the voicing or elision. And step C, the statistical tabulation. The table 2 shows the final transcription metrics. In this table, the rows show the words evaluated, and the columns correspond to the 6 participants divided by their proficiency level, and each cell indicates whether the student achieved the expected pronunciation or made a specific error. The table number 3 shows the individual accuracy summary depending of the group of allophone, it or D, and the overall accuracy. So, since there are 5 verbs per allophone group, each correct answer represents 20% of that category score. And the overall accuracy was calculated based on the total of the 15 verbs. The table number 4 shows the error type distribution analysis. A total of 29 errors were recorded. The voicing was the most frequent, representing 51.7% of errors. Elision followed at 27.6%, and vowel appendices was the least common at 20.7%. As main findings, we have that almost complete mastery of the it sound, because this structure is easier for Spanish speakers to reproduce. The second one, the pronunciation of allophones and are more difficult for students. Number 3, the voicing is the most frequent error, followed by elision and then parentheses. Number 6, a direct correlation exists between linguistic competence and accuracy. Number 7, the higher performance of B1 students is linked to their completion of courses at private institutes. Number 8, no significant relationship was found between gender and phonetic error types because both men and women face the same learning barriers. And number 9, the use of spectrum analysis with Audacity was vital in distinguishing between a silent and a vibrating sound. As conclusions, we may say that study confirms that Spanish patterns significantly interfere with English production. There is an economic factor among students that affect their performance. There is a clear progression of difficulty where it is the most accessible allophone. The prevalence of the voicing in both A2 and B1 levels suggests that this specific error is fossilized. And finally, learners at lower levels tend to use lesion and appendices as simplification strategies to avoid complex English consonant clusters. Finally, we recommend to implement physical techniques like the throat touch to help students perceive vocal cord vibration, integrate softwares like Audacity to provide students with visual feedback, prioritize auditory training to help students differentiate between voiced and voiceless endings, focus lesson planning on the alphon as it is the most frequently mispronounced sound among students, address and correct the voicing patterns from the initial levels, shift the teaching of phonetics to a more practical learning process, and ensure future teachers develop a solid foundation in pronunciation to avoid carrying articulation errors into their professional practice. Preferences. Thank you for listening.